most of all, our tax cheat Secretary of the Treasury, Timothy Geithner. How did that happen? How did we let this happen? I'll tell you why. Because you and the people, we were working. Oh, pardon us. So we're here today to say we've awakened to what's going on, and those people I just named, they are the new axis of evil in America, and they must go! For me, and I just have a feeling that a lot of you share this sentiment with me, I don't want a dollar I did not earn. And I don't want my dollars to go to people who did not earn them. If this government wants to stimulate me, get your hand out of my pocket and replace it with my money. Never in the history of this country or the world, unless you have an example I missed, has the government made anything better by trying to fix it or take it over. What we see here today, history can repeat itself. I never thought we'd see another Pearl Harbor, and we did. And I'm telling you today, there is a new revolution, and perhaps this country is not unified, it's divided. We have the workers and the people who sit on their butts. We have the givers and the takers. The people who work and raise their kids, and they give to whom they want, the people that are willing to help themselves. I've got dollars for them. So here's my suggestion to our Commander-in-Chief. This wall that you have built between the people who contribute and the people who don't, Mr. Obama, tear down that wall! And if you don't, we'll tear it down for you. Mr. President, in your own words, yes we can, and yes we will! And why? Because we're going to throw the window open today and tell the world, we're as mad as hell, and we're not going to take this anymore! God bless you all! We hope Alabama!
Just a glitch. Everything's under control. Y'all just talk, mill around. All right. Senator Jeff Sessions is fighting the good fight in Washington, D.C. I hope y'all agree. And he could not be here today, but he did want to send a statement. To read his statement is Cindy Wright, who is the chairman of the Tri-County Tea Party Coalition.
Cindy! Woo!
United States Senator Jeff Sessions, Republican, Alabama, made the following comments regarding the scheduled Tea Party set for April 15, 2009. The United States is in a precarious situation. Our government has engaged in a series of unwise interventions in the economy. We have witnessed a stunning spending spree in Washington, resulting in trillions of dollars flowing from the Treasurer's coffers. We are expecting a $1.8 trillion deficit this year. We are now controlling the affairs of private companies. The public has watched with increasing mortification as the interventions and spending have begun to erode our nation's heritage of liberty, free enterprise, and limited government. In the wake of the $700 billion Wall Street bailout and the $800 billion stimulus, the Congress is poised to approve President Obama's massive budget that sets this country on an unsustainable course. It calls for too much spending, too much taxing, and too much borrowing. Under this plan, our annual interest payment on the debt will exceed $800 billion in 2019. More than planned defense spending and 8 times more than what Obama plans to allocate toward the education of our children. A large share of that $800 billion payment will be sent to our creditors in Japan and China. As we all know, there are no free lunches. Every debt must be repaid with interest. The burden of repaying the debt incurred today will fall squarely on the backs of our children, and the unprecedented spending that results will alter the role of our government in their adult lives. We must protest this irresponsible course. The silent majority of Americans that continue to hold a deep respect for the enduring traditions of limited government and free enterprise must make their voices heard. We are in a fight for the financial soul of our country.
Our next speaker is former state representative and former state senator John Rice from Opelika, Auburn. He is a businessman in Lee County, and he was very active in 2003 when the tax increase was killed, Amendment 1. He was the platform debater and helped lead the fight against that odious tax increase that he helped make go away. So at this point in time, I want to welcome Senator John Rice as he comes and speaks to us.
I've been in front of the State House many times. I've never seen a crowd like this. I hope we can see you at the polls in the unelection year of 2010.
Unelection year, that's awesome.
That's right, the unelection year. The people that have done this to us need to go. We, the taxpayers, have been scammed. Americans' economic policies now seem to all center on how much we, the taxpayers, can pay. The financial markets meltdown is not a problem of Wall Street, but rather that of the policies of Washington. And the $1 trillion deficit that is spoken about a lot here today for just this year, which adds to the already external debt. Well, add that and add it and add it, and what do you get but $14 to $15 trillion because of the bailout stimulus. It's just unbelievable. I mean, the numbers are so large that they don't fit on many calculators. Okay, that's big. How much is $1 trillion? Well, let's say all of we taxpayers, we are taxpayers.
Amen.
Let's say that each and every taxpayer out of 1,000 people, and there are about 2,000 to 2,500 here today. Hey, give yourself a round of applause. If I needed $1 million today, and each one of you gave me $1,000, it'd take 1,000 of you just to give me $1 million, and we're talking trillions. How much really is a trillion? 1,000 times 1,000 is $1 million. 1,000 times $1 million is $1 billion. And 1,000 times $1 billion is $1 trillion. Where does the money go? Did it come back to you? Stimulus and pork is the problem. How do we stop it? How do we stop it?
Burn them out!
The revenue officials are doing their jobs. They're carrying out the laws. The laws established by our elected officials.
Come on!
Folks,